Joining us now over the phone is Reid Anderson of The Bad Plus. The Bad Plus will be performing at Scullers Jazz Club on March 16th and 17th with 2 shows each night. Reid, thanks so much for speaking with me over the phone.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So The Bad Plus has a new album out, Never Stop 2. Tell me about that new album.
It's our first record with a change in the lineup. I guess that's the most significant news. We have now the pianist Orrin Evans with us. And it's a record of all original music that we recorded last September. And we're very proud of it.
So the album is called Never Stop 2. Does it have any relation to the album Never Stop?
Only in the title, really.
Okay.
There's no other relationship.
What was the reason for naming it Never Stop 2?
I don't know. We just kind of liked the ring of it. It's like sort of, referencing our past output, but also just, signaling that the band is going to continue as well.
Tell me a little bit about the experience of incorporating the new member, Orrin, over the past year or so.
Well, it was a fairly seamless process. I mean, there was some rehearsing involved, of course, and just the writing of the music, and he's an old friend and somebody who I've played with a lot too. So, and in fact, the album, the recording of the album was really the first time that the three of us played that music, any of that music, as whole performances. In the rehearsal process, we would learn the melodies, learn the structure and everything, but not actually perform the whole piece. And I think that the record is really a testament to how smoothly Orrin entered the band, and to him as a player too. It's a lot to do, and he just fit in seamlessly.
With The Bad Plus, I've seen The Bad Plus live several times, and there is an element of full group improvisation that I've noticed rather than... There's individual improvisation as well, but it seems like the band is really listening collectively and trying to improvise together as a whole. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, well, our philosophy is really based on making group music. And I have to say also, in general, when I would say, most jazz musicians would say that, when they're playing, it's a collective experience, but generally speaking, it's someone's band. There's usually a leader, and you're playing that person's music, and in some way trying to fulfill whatever their vision is. But in the Bad Plus, it's a leaderless organization in the very real sense. And we're always playing our music, no matter who wrote it, of the three of us. There's always this sense that this is our music, and everyone gets to be themselves. So I think that really lends to that experience of hearing the music as this collective improvisation, the energy of, yes, we're all playing our music.
The Bad Plus is famous for jazz covers that are untraditional songs played in the jazz style. One of them is Smells Like Teen Spirit. Can you talk about when you originally decided to cover that song?
In the earliest days of the band, we didn't have much repertoire. And Dave and I had been throwing this idea around of playing more contemporary rock music ever since we were high school students and friends, just hanging out, kind of fantasizing about what we would like to see if we went to the jazz club, and if the band was playing something by the Police, it was something that we felt like we would really enjoy. We would like the experience of hearing some music improvised on that was more part of our life experience. even as great as the American Songbook is, it just had a different resonance to us somehow. So it's an idea that we had for a long time, and in fact did some early recordings. He and I and another person playing some Led Zeppelin songs and Jimi Hendrix and stuff like that. So it was just something that came up. We were talking about doing something different, and Teen Spirit came up because it was one of the biggest hits of all time, and also the fact that Ethan didn't know it because he just is totally uninterested in rock music. So we said, yeah, well, let's just do this. Let's see what can happen, and the rest is history, I guess.
So would you say that performing a more contemporary song like that means more to the band than performing a song, like you said, from the American Songbook that may have been written 70, 80 years ago?
I wouldn't say it means more. It's just what we've chosen to pursue. It's more interesting for us because the American Songbook, there tends to be more or less a roadmap of how you approach the music, and of course you can be very creative with that. But with something like Smells Like Teen Spirit, there isn't a precedent for that, and there isn't a clear path to playing, most more contemporary popular music, just in terms of the harmonic structure and the melodic structure, and the songs just don't naturally lend themselves to jazz improvisation and interpretation. So we like the challenge, and also in a way, I feel like playing those kinds of songs helped define our sound, and also allowed us to be our most avant-garde in a sense, because the audience could connect to the song, but also is very forgiving with what we did with it, because they could always say, like, oh yeah, well, they're playing Smells Like Teen Spirit, so no matter how far we would take it, they could still follow the thread with us.
One of the most appealing things about the Bad Plus for people, I think, is that you push boundaries in jazz.
Well, thank you. I guess it's not a. I guess it's just sort of a natural. It's an organic thing. It's not that. It's not a. Of course, we like to, and we want to, challenge ourselves. But mostly, we just want to make personal music, and we don't want to be held to some standard where we have to work within certain boundaries of what jazz is. And I think that's true for a lot of people of, recent generations, because you grew up with all kinds of influences. I grew up listening to rock radio as part of my life, and I like that music as well as traditional jazz, as well as classical music, and I really want to express myself in a way that can include the things that I like and that I'm inspired by. And same for Dave and Orrin.
Talking to Reid Anderson from the Bad Plus, you compose a lot of the Bad Plus original material. Can you tell me about composing from the perspective of the upright bass?
It's really no different than any other instrument. We all compose at the piano, so it's really not. I personally, I do not compose bass-centric music. It's very much thought of in a melodic and harmonic sense that will incorporate everyone in the band.
And with someone like Dave King, how much do you instruct him with his drumming on a piece that you've composed?
Well, I would instruct him to the extent that, if the song kind of has a specific rhythm, if I have something in mind that kind of makes the song tick, I'll say, look, this is the foundation of the song, and can you just please, play this, and when you play that, everything else should fall into place. And so, to the extent that I would ever, I wouldn't say instruct him. I would just say, I would just ask. It would just say, it's like this. This is how the song goes, and that's part of how the song goes, and he understands.
So the Bad Plus is about to start on a tour through the U.S. and Europe. Do you have other plans for the band you'd like to speak about for 2018?
Just generally touring, like we do. I mean, we're a band that's always toured a lot and tried to, take our music wherever people will have us, and hopefully, win some fans of our music. So yeah, 2018 is a year of being on the road.
Do you have any plans to perform again with Joshua Redman at this time?
No specific plans. It's certainly something we've talked about, so we'll see for the future. I know we would love to do it.
All right, Reid, thanks so much for speaking with me this afternoon, and good luck with the tour.
Thank you so much.